Hey guys, Pastor Carl here. It's Friday afternoon. I'm about to blast out of my office, so I'm going to make this as quickly as I can. But as a small group leader, I wanted to let you know what you can expect for this Sunday. This Sunday, we're talking about the Apostle Paul as he traveled through Athens. As he's walking through Athens, he's observing all the gods that the Athenians have been worshiping. They have gods for everybody they can think of. They even have a monument dedicated to the unknown God. And Paul, as you know, takes advantage of this, and he lets the Athenians know about the God that they do not know. And that's the platform, that's the bridge that he uses to tell the people about Jesus. What's interesting about Paul's strategy is that he uses terminology that the Athenians are familiar with. He comes to them in a manner that they can understand. See, they want to worship, they want to follow somebody, and they simply don't know who to follow. So Paul shows them who to follow. And so our bottom line this week is you can help others know Jesus. And so basically this is a message geared to let kids know that they can be a part of the evangelism process, a part of God's kingdom building. And I always say one of the best ways that you can grow your faith is to use your faith. And so we really want to encourage our kids to share Jesus. And at this age, the best way that they can share Jesus is with their actions. They can show kindness, they can show love, and these small group activities are going to revolve around these ideas. It's not so much what we say, but it's how we live. It's, are we illustrating God's love to our community? So the first activity is going to be a activity called Everywhere I Go, and it's a game of memory. I've cut up some cards. They look like this. They're in all your rooms, and basically you're going to lay the cards face down just like the old school memory game, and there's matches, and kids will team up. Actually, I think it's teams of 4 will gather together and they'll play the game. And so when a kid gets a match, they have to answer a question of, how can you help someone know Jesus here? Now, all these cards are different locations, such as restaurant, school, bedroom, laundromat, babysitter's house, school bus, all these different locations that we all find ourselves from time to time. So when they find a match, they have to answer the question, how can I help someone know Jesus at the restaurant, or on the school bus, or at the babysitter's house? And encourage them to think of other things to do than just say words. How can they show that Jesus is real through their actions? And so that's activity number 1. The second activity is a memory verse game, and it is called Potato and Popsicle. And what you'll do is, I've cut up these memory verse cards, and you're going to team the kids up into teams of 2. So make sure each kid knows who their partner is, and then pick one person to stay in the room. And the second person, have them stand outside. And then as a group, you all are going to, everybody left in the room, are going to hide these strips of paper that have words on them that make up our memory verse for the month, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. And so after all the verse slips are hidden in the room, you call the kids back in, and they're going to hunt for these slips of paper. Now, this is where the partnership comes in. Say you and I are partners, and I stay in the room and you go outside the room. When you come back in, I want to help guide you to find something, but I can't tell you where it is. I can simply use clues to let you know you're getting closer or further away, such as colder or hotter. But instead of saying hot, you're going to say potato. And instead of saying cold, you're going to say popsicle. And so that's kind of how we're going to play the game until all the slips are found. And then together you're going to open up the scripture. Remember, this is a memory verse game. You're going to open up the Bible, a real quick, brief, and simple way to look up scripture. Just repent repetitively tell them where the book is. Ephesians, the New Testament, it's chapter 2, look for the 2, then the verse number, and real quick, don't spend a lot of time on that, and then read the verse and have them put the verse in order. But then you're going to take it one step further, and you're going to say, this game, no, sorry, you're not going to do that. This is what you're going to do. We're going to talk about how our actions can show how people can know Jesus. That's our bottom line. And so I want you to think about a time where you can make it personal, where you share a time when your actions communicated your faith, where maybe you were honest at work or kind to a stranger, and did your actions provide an opportunity for a conversation? And so spend some time to think about a personal story. And the tie-in is right here. It says, this game is like one you've played before, but with one big difference, the words. Instead of saying hot, cold, we said potato and popsicle. And that's how Paul communicated to the Athenians. He used words, but not just, he used words that were familiar to them. They were used to the words he used because he used their way of thinking when he communicated. And he says, the Athenians, they were ready to worship. They knew how to do this, so Paul simply showed them who to follow. But he used words that they could understand, starting with what they know. When we're with our friends and we want to show how awesome Jesus is and how we want to follow him, we need to use words everyone understands. And so that's the tie-in. That's the common language when we're sharing Jesus at a skate park, or we're sharing Jesus at a basketball game. We're going to use different words. Sometimes we're going to use different actions. We're not going to make fun of people. We're going to be uplifting. Things like that. Things that are familiar to people. Things that they'll understand. And that's kind of the tie-in between that, the popsicle and potato, using different words to play a game that they're familiar with. So that's about it. There's two things that I want to bring your attention to. Miss Barbara Farrar, she helped us out. There's verse slip. This is the memory verse. I just kind of branded it a little bit with our focus, taking a closer look, icons on it. So if you want to hand these out to take for the kids to take home, this is the memory verse. They can use that. Also, in your rooms, there's something called the parent cue. If you're not familiar with that, the parent cue simply cues parents to the conversation that we just started. We're talking about faith this month. So on this page is a month and a glance. There's week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. All the stories we talked about per week. But it gives the definition of faith right here, which is trusting what you can't see because of what you can see. And our memory verse is right here. Remember this. And it's two-sided. So this is the front, a brief synopsis of what we talked about technically, the Bible story, the memory verse, the definition of faith. But on the back are some activities that parents can do at home to carry on the conversation at home. There's a number of different things they can do there. It's great if they use it. If not, we've done our part. So we want these to be handed out at the end. So when parents are coming to pick up, there's a stack of these in your rooms as well. So hand this out. That would be great. So that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I know it was a long one. Sorry about that. But we'll see you Sunday.